Scott Laird with D'Addario Strings, and I'm really glad to be here today to talk a little bit about electric violins. Today's video is going to be really just a primer on electric violins. If you're thinking about buying your first electric violin, or maybe you're a teacher who's thinking about getting some electric violins for your classroom, this will help you know some of the features that you might look for in an electric violin and how that might impact the price of an instrument. Some of the initial features that you want to look for in an electric violin will include the construction of the instrument, the weight of the instrument, the shoulder rest system and how it feels, the ergonomics of the instrument, and the onboard features like volume knobs, tone controls, that type of thing. Now, the first thing I want you to know is that you have to like the sound of your instrument. Ultimately, when you buy an electric violin, just like when you buy an acoustic violin, you want to like the way it sounds. If that instrument doesn't sound good to you, then you're not going to play it. You're not going to want to put it in front of the public. So to that extent, the first thing that you always want to think about is sound. Okay? Now, different electric violins have different features that impact the sound. Virtually everything in a violin impacts the sound. Again, just like an acoustic instrument. One is the construction. This particular instrument that I'm playing is an NS Design CR series violin. It's constructed out of solid wood, and that wood resonates just like the wood in your acoustic violin. Other electric violins can be made out of a piece of wood that's hollowed out somewhat, and so it doesn't have quite the same resonant qualities. Some are made out of composite materials. I've seen plexiglass violins and plastic electric violins and a lot of other materials. I tend to like the sound of wooden electric violins the best, but you have to decide what you like the best. Another feature of your electric violin is the tuning system. The NS Design violin that I'm showing you today has a really unique tuning system. It's down here where the fine tuners are, and the strings are actually strung across the violin backwards to what you're used to. If you look at the very end of the instrument, you're going to see the ball ends of the strings at the scroll end of the instrument. The strings come down over the bridge, down through the bridge system, and they lock in there. Now, the thing I like about this electric violin is the tuning mechanism is very stable. It had been about 10 days since the last time I played my electric violin, and when I went to tune it today, it was virtually in tune still. It's a very stable system. That's really important to me when I'm on stage, because when I'm playing an amplified instrument, it's got to be in tune, so I can really rely on these instruments to stay in tune. Other electric violins have more traditional tuning systems. Some have proprietary systems. They're all different. Another really important feature of an electric violin are the onboard controls. Now, this electric violin has a lot of knobs on it. It has one volume knob. Now, I always tell folks to use the volume knob in one of two positions, either all the way on or all the way off. When I turn this electric violin off using my volume knob, you can hear there's not much going on there. But when I turn it all the way on using the volume knob, I can be confident that my volume is exactly where I want it to be. Now I know it's right. If I'm working with that volume knob somewhere in the middle and I change it or bump it, all of a sudden my amplified sound is something unpredictable. I want everything about my electric violin to be predictable. So the volume knob really is an on-off switch as far as I'm concerned, and I recommend that you do the same thing as well. Now you're going to notice some more knobs on this electric violin. This violin has a tone control for treble and for bass. I'm going to talk about tone control more in the next video, but for now let me just say that the more tone controls you have on your instrument, usually the higher the price of the instrument. They're greater features, so you want to be aware of that as well. Finally, another consideration in buying an electric violin is just what it looks like. Do you like the way it looks? Now, I love the way this electric violin looks because I think it has a really cool shape, and it's made out of a beautiful piece of natural looking wood. Looks great whether I'm wearing a tuxedo, something like I'm wearing today, or jeans and a t-shirt playing with a rock band. I can use it in a lot of situations, and it really does work. Other electric violins have all kinds of looks, some from very traditional body shapes to some that are really crazy and very different. I even saw an electric violin recently that has flashing lights when you play. So you can really decide based on your personality and your playing style what kind of look you want in your electric violin. But let me just say this, you gotta like the way it sounds. So always start with the way your instrument sounds and then work from there. So I hope some of these ideas have helped you a little bit to know what you might be looking for in an electric violin. Prices range in electric violins from about $500 right on up to several $1,000s, and you always want to pick something that's inside your budget, but something that you like the way it sounds. Remember, if you like how it sounds, you're going to like how it plays. We'll see you next time.